Hey there, welcome to a brand new episode of Muzikxpress. My name is Twan, and in this week's vlog you will see my interview with Leon Bolier, in which we talk about his classic Ocean Drive Boulevard, his collab with Bob Marely and more. But before we start with the interview, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, and very important, also make sure to click the bell button so you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online. Alright, it's time for my interview with Leon Bolier. Enjoy! Leon Bolier is a DJ and producer born and raised in Elspeet, the Netherlands. During the years he has produced trance tracks under lots of different project names such as Precursor, Surpresa, Inner Stories, Subsphere, Solar Express, and of course under his own name Leon Bolier. The last few years he's more active under names such as BLR and Bolier, for which he does focus more on house, deep house and electro house. I recently sat down with Leon to talk with him about his track Ocean Drive Boulevard, a beautiful trance track from the year 2008. But I was also curious to hear the story behind his collab with Bob Marely and of course his upcoming stuff. My first question to Leon was how old he was when he became interested in dance music.
I think I was about 12 years old when I was listening to the radio when I went to secondary school for the first time. My friend at that time showed me like a cassette tape with top 40 on there, and there was a track on there, Too Limited, No Limit. And I remember hearing that for the first time, and it was just something I never heard before. So I remember my friend, he had the maxi single of No Limit, and he recorded it onto a cassette tape, and I just kept listening to like it was like 8 versions of that song on there. Kept listening to that, and I like kind of was like analyzing what was in there. I didn't know what was like a drum computer or a synthesizer or whatever. And afterwards I started recording my own music using like pots and pans, like recording that on cassette tape, and like an organ actually, piano, and my own like rap. Sound like shit. I would still love to find those cassette tapes, but I don't know where they are. Probably at my parents' place. But yeah, Too Limited, No Limit was my like gateway drug.
Yeah. So besides Too Limited, what other acts were you listening to?
Back then, just Eurodance, Capella, Culture Beat, Hathaway. A bit later on, Two Brothers on the Fourth Floor, 24/7, like the Dutch and the German and the Italian stuff.
Yeah. So besides the pots and the pans, was this also the time when you started like making like more dance music yourself, like in a more professional way?
Maybe not professional, but like from that time when I listened to No Limit, I knew like this is what I want to do with my life, probably. So it was before the internet, so I already started looking into okay, how does this music get made, you know? And at one point I remember I bought a CD-ROM with shareware, with like game demos and stuff on there, and there was this little program, a software program was on there. It was called it was something like Scream Tracker. Later on I jumped to Scream Tracker, but it was like a tracker software program with samples and stuff, and with that I could start making electronic music with the computer, and that was that, you know. That was that was my new hobby.
Yeah. So what was your first release ever?
I'm not 100% sure, but it might be a track under my Subsphere alias called Infinite. It might also have been a track under my Mind Sensation alias called Daydreamer. Had a B-side called Violet. I don't know, the first thing that got pressed on vinyl was a remix I did for Calling Your Name by Libra.
Oh.
Yeah. It was on Captivating Sounds, and they were with Warner Chappell back in the day.
BT project.
Oh yeah, could be.
Yeah, it's a BT project. Yeah.
I remember I loved the Pronti and Comani remix of that song, and it was Michael Piron who was working at the Warner back in the day, and he called me after I signed publishing with him and asked me if I wanted to do the remix. So I was like, oh, and it was like for me the first time to work with vocals actually, so it was something exciting for me. Yeah,
pretty cool. So in 2005 you did release Passionate, which became the first track you did under your own name, Leon Bolier. Why did you decide to start using your own name?
That was just Leon. It was without Bolier. I guess Bonsai didn't like my surname. I don't know, because they came up with Leon.
Okay. Sounded more international, maybe. Leon.
Yeah, I don't know. I remember, like, I was talking to Bonsai, to Marnik on MSN Messenger back in the day, and I remember we were discussing it, and I was like, oh, let's go. But I don't know why, like the exact reasoning behind it. But using my own name, it was more of a thing that started to happen with like the progressive house coming up back in the early zeros. So basically everyone started to do it, like using their own name, and at one point I just stuck to it.
Yeah. Like why not?
Yeah.
So speaking of your name, how many times have you been called Leon Bolier or Leon Bolier?
Bolier, that's usually only in the Netherlands. People it's actually a French name, but over the years, I guess at some point, because my ancestors came from France, so I guess at some point someone decided, like, from now on we're gonna pronounce it the Dutch way. The boiler thing, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's usually English-speaking countries, especially UK. Even nowadays when we do like business emails and people are calling me, I'm like, yo, bro.
Mr. Boiler.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about your track Ocean Drive Boulevard, a beautiful trance track that came out in 2008. Can you tell where the inspiration for Ocean Drive Boulevard came from?
I get the question a lot. Where does the inspiration come for your music? And I never really have an answer. It's not like that I think, oh, the weather is nice or whatever, and I want to write a song about this. I remember I bought the Access Various TI synthesizer together with Joop back in the day. Like, we went to a store called Feedback. I think it was called Feedback.
Yeah, Feedback was an equipment store.
Yeah. So we went there in a city called Apeldoorn, and we because I was working together with Joop a lot, so we bought the virus, and I remember I made a patch, or maybe it was a preset, or somewhere in between, I don't know, that ultimately became the sound that was used in the stabby chord pattern that's playing in the intro and also in the outro. And I remember, like, I made the chord progression. I really liked the chord progression I made, and at the same time Ocean Drive Boulevard was kind of like in the line, or like I made like this kind of brand of I don't know if that's a brand, but of trance tracks that would incorporate like organic instruments. So I had a track called Summer Night Confessions out, like I think a year before, which featured like a more classical piano, and then I thought, okay, next thing I'm gonna do is do something with guitar. It's it's a very synthetic guitar. I think the plugin I use for that is called Hypersonic. I don't even know if it's around anymore, but so that was the kind of the thought behind it. It was like a more banging affair when it comes to trance, because I started to do my first gigs, and I noticed that I had to make tracks that would work on the dance floor rather than just stuff that sounds beautiful, or whatever you want to call it. Because otherwise half of the dance floor would leave. So Ocean Drive Boulevard was a track in that like line or brand.
So it's actually made especially for the dance floor.
Well, it's kind of a combination. So I try to like still like put like beauty or whatever you want to call it. This sounds corny as fuck, but so I try to put that in there, like the chords used and the guitar kind of thing in the breakdown. But then there's the lead melody. It's already I already wrote it like that had to be catchy. So there's like a certain symmetry in there and that kind of stuff, and also like the build up and the drop is just a bit more hard hitting than the stuff I would have released before, except for Summer Night Confessions, because that was also like a more banging affair.
So you can hear that you have an ear for piano melodies. Are you classically trained?
Yeah, but I had classical piano lessons for maybe 5 years, 6 years. I don't remember exactly. It was always on a Friday night when my friends would be out on the street playing, so I was nagging my parents that I want to quit doing the piano lessons because I wanted to be outside playing with my friends. So because of that, I quit after 5 years or something like this. And then fast forward a couple of years, that's where the Tour Limited story came into play. And then even nowadays I'm still like I would have loved to have a bit more a bit longer experience with piano lessons. But
so what was the hardest part of the production of Ocean Drive Boulevard?
I was always getting the drop right, especially for this kind of stuff. When I like I said, when I knew that stuff also has to be playable live, also for other DJs to be able to play it, to work on the dance floor. It's like I think like if other producers are watching this, they probably recognize that. It's like that millisecond where it goes from the breakdown to the drop, like that has to be right, and when it's right. And sometimes, and I think Ocean Drive Boulevard was one of those tracks that it wasn't right straight away, so you just keep on fooling around with it till it's like right there, like that energy on the first kick that has to be there, so like you drop it and people are gonna go.
So do you remember when you played the track in a set for the first time?
Yes, I do actually. There was Intuition event at ADE.
Okay.
And this is also something like I've always like many different genres of music. So I remember I was playing at Intuition, like me and Mano de Jong, we did the fast forward together. So we arranged like the truck and DJs and and I played a set on that truck, and I just played stuff I like, so there was house stuff and like D. Ramirez, I think, like that kind of stuff, trance, techno, whatever. And then there was an Intuition forum, and I saw some people feedbacking over there like that they hated my set because basically because it was like not trance. Mm-hmm. So then I knew like, okay, I'll give them what they want, so I played the next Intuition event, and then I made an intro mix for the Ocean Drive Boulevard for that set, and I played it for the first time there as an intro, and I just played trance full on, and then those people like, set of the night, and
then they were happy again.
Yeah, just give the people what they want,
Yeah, exactly. So what is your favorite memory when it comes to the release of Ocean Drive Boulevard?
That's a good one. It's just it's usually when you start to realize this is a big tune. I remember when I of course, like I played that track on that Intuition event. I liked the tune, but at some point you start sending it out or showing it to other, like to colleagues, and the support starts to pick up, and then those other people are gonna say like, dude, this is a banger, you know, and then you realize, okay, you know, I got something here, well, leading up to the release, and then it's just like it's out, and that's it, you know.
So around 2011, 2012, your sound started to change a bit from trance into more progressive sounds. Later you also started to make more house and even deep house. I'm sure you got this question a lot already, but I couldn't resist asking it as well. Why did you decide to change your style?
It's kind of like a combination of factors. The main one being that I was doing trance for around 10 years then, you know, and of which I released, you know, officially released trance for 7 years. And I had done so many trance tracks that it became kind of a routine. And as I said before, like the intuition thing over there, like at the Fast Forward, I already played like those sets with like different kinds of genres which I liked, and I always tried to do like, you know, more deeper stuff or like more techy, more housey stuff, and I would put it on the albums. I released two trance albums. So for me, at least, that was something where I could try different stuff. But I also noticed that the trance audience would still focus on like the pure trance tracks that were on there, which is fine. But so for me, I kind of got like a bit bored by doing the same trick over and over again, because for the single releases you had to do. Well, you know, like the full-on trance thing, and at the same time, at that point, the market started to change. You were saying progressive. I never call that stuff progressive. It's like, you know, it's like electro house, big room. At that point, it was exciting. I remember hearing was this track called Nari Milani Atom. I don't know if you remember that one. It was on Steve Angelo's label, and it was just something different. So. I just started to do that kind of stuff. It was also really fun to play, like the fast mixing, the energy. However, after 2 years, I got super bored with EDM, like, because everything, you know, started to sound the same with the 1, 2, 3 drop stuff. So that took me way shorter than getting bored with trance, and then I moved on to house music, whatever you want to call it, you know. So right now I'm doing different stuff under my BLR alias, which is, in my opinion, kind of trancey, like it's very melodic, but it's just a bit deeper. Under Bolier it's a bit more housey or even poppy. So
yeah, you already mentioned some of your aliases, BLR, Bolier, and in 2015 you released a deep house album under the project name Westlander. So is there one project that has the main focus now, or do you decide what project a track will be once it's finished?
No, I start a track and I know like this is gonna be a BLR or a Bolier track. Those are my main projects right now. However, if I decide to do something that doesn't fit for one of the aliases, I'll probably make up another one. But there's not one project that has the focus. It's it's more a thing. Like if I want to do like the more cool, credible club stuff, there's gonna be BLR, and if it's like a vocal, poppy, summery, whatever track, Bolier. Yeah.
Okay. Something I really have to mention is your 2016 release, Is This Love, which is a remix you did of the famous Bob Marely classic. How did you manage to get to remix the most famous reggae artist ever and even get it out as an official release?
Yeah, it was not a remix, it was like a collab. I remember, so the idea was Jorn at Spinning Records, the A&R manager. He called me after he found out that me and Landscape we go way back. So he told us like maybe it's a cool idea for you guys to pick a Bob Marely record and do a remix and just throw it on SoundCloud and see if it goes viral, and and let's see, like it's gonna be good for your profile. So and he gave us 2 suggestions. I don't remember the other one, but you know, the first one obviously was Is This Love. So I had discussion with Landscape, and we went for Is This Love. I remember I was in the studio, he was in his studio, we were doing a Skype call, and we were working on it, loaded the vocal, and then I told him, Jorn likes those old filter heads tracks, so let's do something with like a marimba kind of thing. I remember my keyboard would be to the side, so I was just playing something like 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. He's like, that's cool. I'm like, okay, let's go. And we recorded the whistling ourselves in the track, and the track basically was done in like 2 hours, and we sent it on to Jorn. Then also Roger at Spinning Records got on the email. He's like, dude, you know, this is great. A week later he gets back to us and he said, like, I sent it on to Universal. They passed it on to the Marely family. They're loving it, you know, and it's gonna be like an official release, and it's gonna be you guys and Bob Marely. It's gonna be like a collab. So we're like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so that's what happened, and then it still took like a year with all the legal stuff. I mean, I don't know what's going on, because we were me and Landscape, we were like, that's probably not gonna happen, you know, the way it sometimes works in the dance music industry or in the music industry. And a year later, my management back then drops me a call, and is like, he goes like, yeah, everything is done with the Marely track. Is gonna be out in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay. So basically that's it. Like, you know, credit to Roger and Jorn for the idea. Roger arranged everything with the business, and well, we made the track, and that's it.
How many streams does it have on Spotify right now?
I think 125 million.
Not bad.
Not bad.
So it might have been possible that it never got like an official release.
Yeah, for sure. Like, you know, it's in the music business, or like I guess in any business, it's about like the right product in front of the right people, and this is what happened there. Yeah. You know, we just made a track, and of course we love the track, you know, but we were just like, oh, this is cool, let's send it on, and we didn't expect anything. We expected to upload it on SoundCloud and maybe have like a strike on it later on, but you know, whatever happens. And then Roger just he's like, Roger is his hustler, so he's like, I'm gonna send it to those people, and he did, and yeah,
he did a good job.
Yeah.
So there's actually a few tracks that you did that never were released. For example, a track called Rose Garden under an alias called Antares.
Antares, yeah.
Antares. It's a beautiful trance track with the guitar played by Elle van Buren, if I'm correct. So it got some amazing feedback back then in the trance scene. So what happened to that track?
No one wanted to sign it.
No way.
Yeah. I remember meeting Eller at those. It was like Armin Only or Armada Night? They were doing those parties at Ocean Diva in Amsterdam at a boat. So Armin was playing, and we were just chilling there, and someone introduced me to Eller. Eller, he was just standing there at the bar. So we had a chat, and he's like, oh, maybe, you know, I play guitar and maybe we could do a track together. Sure. So the next week he was there. I already had like a couple of chords laid out, and he just jammed over it, and that was it. So we were done. He left. I finished the track, and I mean, I still like that track, but I sent it to first I sent it to Armada. I don't know if they didn't get back, and I also showed it to Spinnin', but Spinnin' then were like into a bit more of like a techie, like more full-on kind of trance. Was the stuff they were focusing on. So yeah, no one took it.
It's crazy.
Shit happens.
There's another one which is called Couchsurfing, which was meant to be a track under your Inner Stories alias, I think.
Yeah, but that one is out, isn't it?
Didn't it got released on Seed compilation?
Yeah, I gave it to Seed.
Yeah, but not like an actual release, I think.
Because that track, I gave it to Seed when I was like already not doing trance no more. So yeah, I gave it to him for his compilation. I don't really know what.
Okay. You also run the label Forecast, which you launched at the end of 2018. Why did you decide to start your own label?
It kind of just happened. I had a track done, and I was talking to my manager about it, and he just had a meeting with Angami, which is the streaming service for the Middle East, like Spotify, and he said they want to do like an exclusive track, like give it some push over there, and like why not release a track ourselves? I'm like, let's go. So we did, and we got some nice support then also on Spotify. I think it was like a New Music Friday UK, like those kind of playlists. So that led to doing another track, and then it kind of grew into like something more serious. And at that point I realized that for me it's like really nice to have a label like that where I can just, because my output is pretty high, so I can just release tracks whenever I have them ready and whenever I feel like they're good enough to release. So something like Antares Rose Garden will never happen again, because I got my own label to release it. Having said that, I still release a lot of tracks with Spinning Records. I love working with them, but it's kind of like the combination that really works for me. Especially also because when I finish something and I feel it's good, I don't really want an A&R to tell me that I have to change something. You know what I mean? So. It's the best of both worlds. Yeah. So whenever I have a track ready, I think it's good for Spinning Records or for a major or Armada, whatever. I can just send it to them and wait what they will say, and there is always a bit more of a long time frame before something gets released, and at the same time I can just keep doing my own thing.
Yeah. So for Forecast, will it only be your own releases?
No. We just released, I think 2 months ago, we released a track by Redondo. And we got an upcoming track by Redondo as well. And right now I'm also looking into doing a lot of collabs. So bringing people in on the label so they can see what we do. I'm currently working on a track with Pep and Rash. There's gonna be more stuff. So, but the hunting for other music, that's more of my manager's. Well, not job, but he's a hustler, and I like to be in the studio. So
yeah. So do you ever cope with a writer's block that you have zero inspiration in the studio?
No.
Never?
No.
Oh, lucky you.
Yeah. But this is I think. Towards the end of, let's say, my trance years, that was kind of what happened. I had been doing the trance stuff so much that at some point I would be like, what should I do now? Do another album, do another single, and do the same thing again. And now it's if I don't feel like doing a pop track or a house track, I can do a BLR track or whatever. I also have a project for actual classical music. So even that kind of stuff is something I can do. So for me, write a block is not about not being able to come up with new music, but more about not feeling doing new music because it's or maybe it's fans or people around you, management labels, are expecting you to do what you've been doing always. So the way I work now, that's not really happening no more. It's
good. So what are you working on right now?
Well, because of the Corona thing, I've been doing so much music. There's a lot of releases lined up. Like I said before, I reached out to for example Pep and Rash to do a collab. I'm actually doing a new collab with Troby. I released a track with him last year. For BLR, I'm doing a track. I'm actually finalizing a track for Hell Deep, Oliver Heldens, his label for BLR, but also doing a lot of self-releases on there. I'm doing a trance track.
You're doing a trance track?
I'm doing a trance track. It's going to be out on Flashover. And
is it going to be out as Leon Bolier?
Yes. So it's going to be out July 17th. This was actually funny, like because of the semi-lockdown or whatever you want to call it here in Holland. I was working a lot in the studio, so I was there 7 days a week, and then I just started opening up my old computers, which I still have, and there was like all those hard disk drives I never touched. After I switched system to a newer one. For some of those I had to buy like an adapter, and I connected it to my computer, and it was like going back in time, like reading an old diary or something like that. So I was just going over all those project folders. And so I thought, like, why not? Let's make a trance track, man. Fuck it, because I had like 20 other tracks done. So I did that, and then I called Yuri at Flashover, because we go way back. So I'm like, hey, dude, I did a trance track, and I want to release it under my own name, because I think that's going to be nice for the people. It's it sounds like the stuff I did back then. So you want to sign it? And he said yes. So that's coming up July 17th, and I already done a follow-up. I signed it to Black Hole. I don't know a release date yet, but probably August or something.
Yeah. And you just did a remix for 4 Strings.
Yeah, but that's BLR. So I think that's a lot of the BLR music. I think that's trance, but trance fans will be like, it's not 140 BPM or whatever. So that's not trance to them. But to me, that's pretty trancey. Like it's deeper. It's probably 123 BPM. 4 Strings, Take Me Away, original vocal in there, and it's gonna be out. Next Monday, but.
It's out when people see this interview.
Yeah, it's like two weeks ago then, yeah.
So if you have to choose, like, what is your favorite own production or remix?
I can't choose, man. Because there's, like, I can't compare a track like Ocean Drive Boulevard with a track like my track Us, which was like an EDM track, but which I love in its own right, or like a BLR Nungwa, those tracks are so different that. I can't compare them, but whenever I feel like nostalgic or something, and I listen to my old stuff, like tracks like Ocean Drive Boulevard, Elysian Fields is one of my favorite trance tracks I did, like Vengeance, but just because that's like such a banger. Us, Me, You, that trilogy. For BLR, I love the Odyssey track, the opening track from my album, for example. Under Bolier there is like I love White Rabbit, that track, because I think it's like innovative, So I can't really pick.
Yeah, fair enough. So when you're not in the studio, what kind of music do you listen to then?
I don't listen to much music, but if I have to. That sounds a bit. No, but I like to listen to like progressive, but not like the EDM progressive, or like the deep stuff. I like to listen to some of the melodic techno. However, like also in that scene now, I kind of feel that stuff start to sound the same, and then I'm getting bored too fast. But I like the melodic techno stuff. As long as there's new stuff out there that
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's new, you know, it's fresh, and for me, you know, it like the techno stuff is, you know, it's considered like cool and underground and hipster, but I enjoy like a great pop song as much, or like I said, the Nari Milani Atom, which was like a main stage banger, but it was like something different, something new, and I like to listen to something and think like, how did this guy or girl come up with this, you know? And that's a genius. You know, so when I hear something like that, I will repeat listening to the song till I hate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is there still something on your bucket list music-wise?
Always, because I think if there's nothing on your bucket list, then for me, at least for me, that would take away at least a lot of the fun. Like if there's no goals.
Yeah.
So
what is on your bucket list?
For example, I would love to have like a number 1 hit. The Bob Marely tune, I think it went like top 10 in UK, which is great. So there's still room to improve, you know. I would love to have a tune that hits 1 billion streams, for example. So. But at the same time, I would love to have to do a track that gets supported by like all the cool guys, like, you know, whatever, like Solomon or whatever. Like if those guys would play a track in every set, that's also you know, something very cool. Yeah. So
several bucket list items.
Yeah. It's just of course I make music for myself, you know, but I want when I finish the music, I want people to hear it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And the last question: pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
I don't like pineapple, man.
No, then it's no.
Yeah, I like it. You know, if you can throw it at people's heads or something, but not throw it on a pizza.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah, no worries.
Alright, that was it, this week's vlog, my interview with Leon Bolier. Leon, thank you very much for your time, much appreciated. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed the vlog. If you did, make sure to give this video a like, leave a comment in the comment section below, and very important, make sure to subscribe. And also make sure to click the bell button so you will get a notification the next time a new vlog is online. Alright, thanks again for watching, and until next time, bye bye!